Hey everyone, I'm ohthatnatalie and welcome to part 2 of my Twin Coves demo playthrough. If you missed part 1, you can find the link in the description below. To recap, Twin Coves is an upcoming paranormal romance meets murder mystery visual novel made by Wisteria Games. In it, you play as the customizable protagonist who has recently moved back home to the sleepy seaside town of Twin Coves. You've also recently taken over the local private eye firm after your mentor, Gideon, died of a heart attack. Twin Coves features 6, or possibly 9, male love interests who may or may not be human. The Kickstarter for Twin Coves goes live in 2 days, on Friday, October 1st. The link to the Kickstarter, plus links to find Twin Coves on all social media, are included in the description below. We left off part 1 in the woods next to Ivy House, where we just met love interest number 4, Ren. In part 2, we'll meet the remaining 5 love interests, including this mysterious, handsome man. So let's get into it, shall we? Whoever I had been pursuing is now in front of me and speaking to me. I slowly raise my head, afraid of who or what I'll see. And everyone, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, here's number 4. This is Ren. He is a fae. I think I'd have to look at his backstory again, but I think he is like some sort of like a knight-esque of the fae. Bright red hair catches on a stream of sunlight peeking through the canopy of leaves overhead, turning it into a halo of fire. I realized that must have been what I saw, his hair catching the light. He's dressed strangely. My first thought is that the Renaissance Fair must be in town. My second is that he has a sword. I throw myself back, scrambling away from him and his very long, real-looking blade. I can't find my voice. However, he looks concerned, not murderous, which is a good sign. The man sheaths his weapon and closes the distance between us in a few steps, offering his hand out to me. I did see this the last time I played. Okay, I have to take this jacket off. I'm very hot. Just look at Ren for like a few more minutes.
A few moments later.
All right, I kept the lumberjack shirt on. This is Ren. Isn't he pretty? I think he's pretty. So Ren is the second of 3 stretch goal romances, and he is also included in one of the poly routes. I won't tell you who the other one is yet. I'll tell you when we meet him. That's the second hand that's been offered to me today. I'm not a fan of this emerging pattern of me needing to be helped off the ground. Give me your hand. His voice is accented, lilting softly. I think it's Scottish at first, but that's not quite right. I stare up at him. We are going to take his hand. Hesitantly, I let him pull me up. He's stronger than he looks, and he doesn't exactly look weak. Once I'm on my feet, I notice he's holding my keys and pepper spray, staring at them with an odd expression on his face. But he holds them both out to me a moment later, and I stuff them back in my jacket pocket. Who are you? He looks me up and down, though in an impersonal, appraising way. I should feel afraid of him. He's clearly in shape and can move like he weighs nothing at all, not to mention the fact that he's wandering around the location where a dead body was recently found. And he has a sword. It's of no concern. I'm about to rebut that it is very much a concern when he suddenly turns and looks to the right, hand falling onto his sword pommel. I try not to panic. It's then I notice his slightly pointed ears. You should leave. I should do no such. I swing my gaze in the direction the man, or is it fairy, is looking, trying to see what he must see. What? But when I look back, he's gone. I hear another crunch, though now I doubt it was caused by the red-haired stranger. My eyes frantically search for any shape in the darkness or a sign of movement. 2 yellow eyes peer out of the trees, maybe 5 yards away, and my blood runs cold. They watch me steadily, though the wolf makes no move to come closer. Was this what I was hearing? How long has it been there, watching me stumble around the forest? It's far too large to be a natural wolf, which means a werewolf. Alone. I don't know why they would be down in Twin Coves, alone in the daytime, in wolf form. Unless this is a lone wolf? They're dangerous. The line between their human mind and wolf mind blurring together until they forget they were ever human. A wolf needs a pack. I hear the words in Gideon's voice, even though he was a werewolf and, as far as I could tell, hardly saw others of his kind. I take a careful step back, never breaking eye contact. I don't know how deep into the forest I ventured, but I know I must be a ways in. The yellow eyes watch me as I back up slowly, heading back the way I came. Then the eyes are gone, followed by the gentle patter of running. It's then I notice the wolf only seems to have 3 legs. I don't pause to wonder why. I just turn tail and head back to my car as quickly as I can. It was foolish of me to wander around alone with nothing but pepper spray. Next time, I'll be smarter. I'm surprised by how easily the thought of next time comes to me. I smile, because there will be a next time. My body is pumped full of adrenaline by the time I reach my car. All of today's events catching up with me. It takes a few tries to get the door unlocked. I doubt it's even past noon yet. I slip into the driver's seat, my breath verging on hyperventilating, but I close my eyes and breathe in through my nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hold it for 3 counts, then exhale slowly. My knuckles are white as I grip my steering wheel, staring straight ahead as I process the facts. A woman was killed in either that forest or brought there later to be dumped. An armed man, possibly Fae, was wandering around the site, as well as a werewolf. Or perhaps the werewolf had been following me? Maybe the Fae? Also, I can't ignore the fact that the victim had a rose tattoo on their wrist. One I would know anywhere. One that fills me with both terror and fury. Fortunately or unfortunately, I know exactly who's responsible for that last part of this whole thing. I need a drink, a nap, or both. I don't know that whiskey's gonna help us. Let's go with a nap. A long one. I start the car and head back to my apartment. Both, if we're honest, but we woke up being very, whiskey-brained and, slightly hungover, and I don't know if that's the move for the rest of the day. And she only had a bite of a waffle, so we're not really, ready to be drinking. When I get to my building, I notice that monstrosity of a truck is still there. However, now it's taken my usual spot. I didn't notice it before, but there is a faint writing along the door. It's painted in an old-timey font, the yellow paint practically entirely chipped off. Sawyer and Sons Carpentry. I make a mental note to run its plates and see who owns it. Perhaps I've let my new private investigator powers go to my head. I take the steps up the floor 2 at a time, though I'm so focused on running the events of the day through my head that when I reach my apartment door, I almost crash into the person standing in front of it. Are you ready for love interest number 5, friends? I think we're at 5. Yeah, this is 5. Sorry. Wait. I focus my attention on this new stranger despite the sane part of my brain is telling me to run. He's massive, well over 6 tall, and I stagger back as he turns around to face me. 3 deep scars run down his right cheek into his days-old scruff. But the height and the scars aren't the most noticeable thing about him. Do you recognize him? Do you recognize this man? Have you seen this man before? He's large. It's the shock of white through his brown hair. I look down at the key he is holding in his hand. He looks down to where I'm staring, then back at me. Are you trying to break into my apartment? Really? Can I catch a fucking break today? He's silent for a moment. Your apartment? Yes, my apartment. I should be terrified by this scenario, and I admit it's not comforting, but the adrenaline from earlier is making me feel invincible and slightly lightheaded. I'm just so tired of being scared. This is Gideon's place. I'm stunned silent for a moment, shocked to meet someone who knew Gideon that I'm not familiar with, or at least have heard of. The fact he knew Gideon makes me feel a little less uneasy. It also makes me forget he was trying to open my door. Almost. How do you know Gideon? He cocks his head, assessing me for a moment, then his eyes widen slightly. You must be Morgan. I don't know if I should be relieved or worried that he knows my name. And you are? Eli. I wait a moment to see if he elaborates, but he doesn't. Okay. And are you going to address why you were trying to break into my apartment? He smiles a little, momentarily catching me off guard at the almost impish quality of it. Is it considered breaking and entering if I have a key? Yes, actually. You don't need to break down the door for it to be considered a B&E. It's all about the intent to commit a crime. Gideon told me it was important to know the law before you broke it. Private investigators tend to work around the law a bit, I learned. Do you have the intention to commit a crime? Again, he waits a beat to reply. No. The key didn't work anyway. Like that's supposed to make me feel better. I am doubly glad Gideon changed the locks now, and added a few more. He steps away from my door and pockets the key, though judging by the size of him, he wouldn't need a key to enter. I have no doubt he could ram his way through, deadbolts and all. You still haven't told me who you are or why you're here. My name is Eli Sawyer, and to get a few things. This conversation is the equivalent of pulling teeth, you know. And if you intend to remove items from the premises, that's stealing, also known as a crime. At least I know the truck belongs to him now. For some reason, he smiles again, but it's not threatening. It's like he finds me amusing. Do I amuse you like a clown? He clears his throat and scratches at his prickly cheek, eyes averted. I'm sorry. I didn't know anyone lived here. Lila asked me to grab a few things for her. She didn't mention anyone. Lila, as in Dr. Lila Clearwater, Gideon's niece? How do you know Lila Clearwater? She's married to my sister. Shit. I cringe when I realize that I said that out loud, but he only arches a brow, the corner of his mouth tilting up again. I really should have contacted Lila by now, apologized for Gideon leaving me everything. Extended condolences at least. He was her real family after all. I was just a child of a single mom he took pity on. Are you a werewolf then? He nods. I think of the maybe werewolf I encountered in the woods earlier today, but I doubt he could be one and the same. Not unless he is faster than a car. What do you think, chat? Do you think the werewolf that we saw earlier today is our boy Eli? He genuinely seems to have thought the apartment wasn't lived in, and if he's Lila's brother-in-law, I suppose it couldn't hurt to let him go through Gideon's things. I know I haven't been able to. Look, now's not the best time for me. Could you come back sometime tomorrow to look through his things? I'll even help you. His organizational system was a bit haphazard. And it'll give me time to run a background check on him. If you wouldn't mind, I'll be in the area for a little while. No problem. He stuffed his hands into his jean pockets and nods in goodbye, then heads back down the stairs, each one creaking loudly as he leaves. I watch him go, waiting a few moments longer than I need to before heading inside. Once I'm inside, I redo all the locks and check them twice before shrugging out of my jacket and dropping it onto the couch. God, this day has already been a headache, and it's only about to get worse. Best to get it over with. I head into my bedroom and pull the shoebox out from under my bed. I haven't opened this since I moved back here, and honestly, I never thought I would again. It's stuff full of some notebooks I used back in my journalist days. Hospital bills and some random memorabilia I no longer wanted but couldn't bring myself to throw away. At the very bottom is a black business card, with only a phone number on the back and on the front, a single name. Azrael. I sit on a stool at the kitchen counter, staring at the little black rectangle in my hand. In my other is a phone, the dial tone droning from the receiver. This is where it all started last time. This card, one call. I should have known I wasn't really safe. A part of me wants to believe the tattoo was a coincidence. Maybe I saw what I wanted to see. Still, I need to know for sure, because if it was that rose tattoo, it could only have come from him. I turn my attention to the drink in front of me. I don't know that a shot of whiskey is a good idea, so let's go with the Jolt Cola. It's barely noon, and I'm already lagging. I need all the help I can get. After I knock back the entirety of my drink and give myself a little shake, I press the familiar sequence of numbers, then hold the receiver to my ear and listen to it ring. Once. Twice. Hello, kitten. It's been a while. To what do I owe the honor? His voice is practically a purr on the other end, and it sends a shiver down my spine, and not in a good way. I refuse to acknowledge the stupid nickname he bestowed upon me. Azrael. We need to talk. My, sounds serious. It is. Business or pleasure? There's a throaty laugh through the speaker, and I can feel my blood pressure spiking. It takes all my self-control to force the word through my clenched teeth. Business. You know I don't talk business over the phone, kitten. The levity in his tone is gone, replaced by something steely and sharp. Well, you better start, because you promised I'd be safe, and I was just at the scene of a murder less than an hour ago. And the victim had one of your tattoos. Again. There's silence on the other end of the line, long enough that I begin to think he hung up on me. Then he speaks, voice low. Where are you? Where I told you I'd be when we made our deal. Give me your address. You're not coming to my apartment. A pause. A sigh. Then where? I rack my brain for a place to meet, someplace public but not too public, and a place with a little backup just in case. The Green Knight, the local pub across from the Moe's, will probably do. Not too many people should be inside this time of the afternoon. And the owner, Briar, is not exactly human, as far as I can tell. They were friendly with Gideon. They'd step in if things got ugly. I hope. I try to keep my voice steady, though I'm sure Azrael can sense my anxiety even through the phone. There's a pub in town. We can meet there. How's their scotch selection? I don't know whether to laugh or scream. I say nothing. Fine, I'll be there shortly. What? Before I can get an answer, he's ended the call. I wasn't expecting to meet him today. I don't think all the caffeine in the world will help me now. but it can't hurt. I make my way to the rear entrance of the Green Knight, hoping to at least have the advantage of surprise by going in the back. That's what she said. The old brick building faces west, hiding the afternoon sun and washing the alley in cool shade. I shiver and run my hands up and down my arms. Let's just get this over with. There you are. I've been waiting for you. I jump as Azrael emerges from the alcove and leans against the entryway, the light above the door casting his face in shadow. Ladies and gentlemen and non-binary pals, I give you number 6, Azrael. Look at his funky-ass eyebrows. What the fuck, man? Don't just do that. My apologies. I doubt he's actually sorry. His pale red eyes study me from behind his sunglasses, which he wears even in the dark alleyway. The right side of his mouth is pulled up into a smirk, though he looks tired, even more so than the previous times I've met him. Not that I would ever tell him that. How the hell did you get here so fast? He shrugs. Magic. Of course. Fucking magic. So, what is this about a murder? I cross my arms and glance around. Apparently we're having this conversation in an alleyway then. Brilliant. Maybe if I scream, Briar will be able to hear me. Someone murdered a young woman and left the body in the woods by a bed and breakfast just northeast of here. She had one of your rose tattoos on her wrist, I think. He arches a brow at that, but says nothing. Look, this is a quiet town. Nothing happens here. That's why I chose this place when I needed to lay low. I've been here all of 6 months, and now there's a possible murder that may or may not bear similarities to other certain murders. I'm scared and angry, but let's go with scared. I hate admitting this, especially to him, but Gideon's gone. Who else do I have but a morally ambiguous pixie who helped me out once before? Granted, for a price. After I accused him of murder to his face multiple times. I should be terrified of him, and I am, but not as much as I probably should be. I could never explain it, but even when we first met, I felt sure he wouldn't hurt me. He's a bad man, undoubtedly. I just could never really see him as the killer. Even now, even though there's evidence pointing to his involvement somehow. That's probably why I never pursued that angle more or mentioned him to my boss when I worked at the paper. I really don't want to be wrong about him. I'm scared. I'm scared that what happened 6 months ago has followed me home and that I'll be next. I can't bring myself to say the name the papers gave the murderer, the one that started all of this. That they've followed me here. And I'm angry because when we made our deal, you said I'd be safe. That I'd hide away in my little seaside town and let it all blow over. You promised you weren't involved. My final words sound petulant, but I'm beyond caring. I gave you 5 years of my life, and now I'm thinking all I got was this stupid tattoo. I yank my jacket aside and undo the zipper of my hoodie just enough to pull it down, revealing the rose tattoo over my right shoulder. Plot twist. It does a decent enough job obscuring the scar underneath it. Bullet wounds surprisingly don't leave much evidence behind. And it's the same rose tattoo I saw on the dead body today, the same tattoo that was on the previous victims, the story I had been covering before it all went wrong. They're also the same rose tattoos that cover Azrael from neck to wrists, save for the Death Head's hawk moth tattoo on his throat. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you. I knew you had to be involved, working with them. I zip my hoodie back up and rub at the scar along my forehead, another souvenir from the night that almost killed me. Azriel has the audacity to laugh, but it sounds bitter. Back on this, are we? I'm the big bad wolf terrorizing the streets just because I gave a few desperate people tattoos? He steps away from the wall and stalks towards me. He's not an overly tall man, but he still manages to make me take a step back. Do you know what else desperate people do? Make stupid decisions that get them killed. We both know they're more than tattoos. They're deals. You're making my point. If someone is desperate enough to make a deal with me, they're desperate as one can get. And people with no one to turn to and nowhere to run make perfect victims. And you're making mine. You just said your clients make perfect victims, and you have an endless supply of them who can come right to your front door. Then you're rather foolish to be meeting me in a dark alleyway, no? His smile turns slightly feral, revealing his sharp double canines. He sighs and turns away, running his hands through his white hair. The tired expression is back. And what exactly would my motivation be then? I don't know. To get your rocks off? He spins to face me and looks genuinely disgusted by the suggestion. One little problem, kitten. If my clients die, I don't get their years. So what's the point of making deals if I get nothing out of it? I don't have an answer for that, and by his expression, he knows it. I don't have anyone left. Unshed tears clog my throat, a backlog from today's events. This past month's events. 6 months, even. And I need someone to trust. I need to be able to trust you. His face hardens at the wobble in my voice, at my show of human weakness and fear. Trust that'll keep my end of the bargain. You, on the other hand, need to keep yours. Lay low. Don't go investigating suspicious murders or meeting men in dark alleyways. I'll take care of it. But no buts. He opens his mouth to say something else, but then his eyes widen, swinging to look over my shoulder. Azriel goes preternaturally still. A moment later, a bone-chilling breeze whips through the narrow alley, followed by every light flickering on and off before finally plunging us into darkness. The sound of light bulbs exploding and raining glass down on the pavement makes me freeze in place myself. It also muffles the voice speaking softly somewhere behind me. Stop running from me, Pixie. Tell me, where is it? This music is so good. Oh boy. Move closer. The words I feel like ice sliding down my spine, and I feel myself taking a step closer to Azriel. If it's a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea, I'm choosing the devil. At least I know what to expect. Your Highness. Azriel's words are a sneer. To what do I owe the honor? I slowly rotate to see who he's staring at. My heart drops into my stomach when I see a tall, pale man in a long coat, his blue-black hair flowing like ink over his shoulders. And this, my friends, is romance number 8. The air is so static around him, I can almost hear it cracking. Every hair on my body is standing on end. There's no doubt what this newcomer is. Very. You've been avoiding me. I shouldn't be surprised. You are a traitor, after all. The word traitor catches my attention, though maybe if Azriel betrayed this guy, he did a good thing. Rook, you're frightening my companion. I I throw a side eye at Azriel for calling me his companion, but he ignores me, keeping his focus on the fairy. Rook was his name, or one of them, at least. The fairy doesn't even deign to look in my direction, which is fine by me. Where is it? Tell me now and you'll keep your head. I will not repeat myself again. Azriel's smirk falls, and his fingers flick subtly at his sides. It's only then I notice his nails have extended into claws and his features have sharpened into something a little less human looking. He's frightened too. He glances at me, his voice low. We're leaving. I don't have time to reply before he grips me tightly around the upper arm and the ground drops out from under me. I think I scream. Okay, so Rook is romance number 8. He is the third of the stretch goal romances, and he is also involved in the poly romance with Ren. Actually, he's 7. Who did I miss? I thought I was counting. Oh yeah, sorry. No, we do have 2 more. Sorry. He is 2 more. I forgot. There is 2 more. I thought I was keeping count. He's part of the poly route with Ren. The way that, and I'm reading this directly from the Twin Coves Tumblr. Yes, there's 9 possible romances. 6 are part of the base game, and the 3 that are going to be Kickstarter stretch goals are Damien, Ren, and Rook. The poly route is also a stretch goal. The first poly route is going to be with Rook and Ren. It's a V-shaped relationship, so they both can be in a committed relationship with the main character, but don't have romantic interest in each other. It's a V-shaped poly route, so MC is in the middle, and then Rook and Ren are on the other 2 points. They don't interact or have romantic feelings for each other, but they both like the main character, and the main character can be with them. And then there are other poly route options, but I'm not going to go into them because they could change, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But you know how you can keep track is following along on Twitter, Tumblr, or Patreon, and signing up for the Kickstarter to know when it goes live. All right. When I come to, I'm in a hallway, leaving heavily on Azriel for support. I jerk out of his hold and lean against the wall instead, my head spinning and my stomach threatening to empty its meager contents. My sense of up and down is touch and go for a few minutes. Who was that? None of your business. He rubs his chin. Stay away from him, too. You won't hear an argument from me, except for the fact, Morgan, that maybe you will. I think I hear him mutter "for once" under his breath, but I can't be sure. It's then I notice I'm in my apartment building. Why did you ask for my address if you already knew where I lived? Maybe if I'm mad, I'll forget how scrambled my insides feel. Azriel makes a non-committal sound. Etiquette? So, is it just a coincidence that a dead woman was found with your tattoo on her wrist the very same day a pissed-off fairy is chasing you down, calling you a traitor? Let's not have this conversation out here. He grabs my door handle and I'm about to tell him it's locked when the door swings open easily. He smiles. Well, that's comforting. He ushers me inside and follows me in, closing the door behind us and clicking all the locks closed with a snap of his fingers. I will also be ignoring that. So what? Is it a coincidence? I had nothing to do with the woman who was murdered here, and that... He shoves a hand through his hair and takes a deep breath, his tone calmer when he continues. That fairy has nothing to do with it either. We've never got on, and he likes to blame me for every crease in his robes and pebble in his boots. He sighs and levels me with a look that is full of so much open sincerity, I think I might actually believe him. Just keep your head down and I'll keep you safe. You can trust me. In this, at least. He makes sure to meet my eyes. And don't get involved. What if? No buts. No what ifs. You couldn't keep your nose out of trouble 6 months ago, and I know what you're thinking now. Stay out of it. I chose to be contrary. I'm literally a private investigator. Azriel snorts. Be a bad one. Just this once. The asshole even fucking winks at me. Be a good girl. Call if you need me. You better not betray me, Azriel. Never, kitten. And I hate that fucking nickname. Sure, kitten. And then he's gone. Standing in my apartment 1 second, then gone. Quite literally the next. Good riddance. Yet, I can't help but feel a little lonely. But more importantly, I need a fucking nap. Honestly, when I first stumbled upon this game, I was immediately drawn to Eli. Sam has done a really good job of fleshing out like a lot of the character quirks and personalities through Tumblr and through people asking questions and stuff, and it's great. But truly, every single one of them in this game is so interesting, and I 100% mean it that when this game comes out in full, with its full 9 romance routes and all of the poly choices, we are going to be playing this game until I go through all of them. Like, we'll probably take time, like, we'll filter it in between some other games, but we are going to see every single option. I promise you. I promise you. Because if Azriel calls me kitten one more time, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I wake up face down on the couch in a puddle of drool and blink slowly, glaring over at the clock on the wall. 8:17 p.m. Nearly 8 hours. Less of a nap, more of a blacking out then. I shuffle in the pitch black to the kitchen and flick on the light over the sink. After filling a glass of water, I chug it down in an attempt to assuage my parched throat. I love that Azriel's condescending, but he doesn't underestimate us. Exactly. I think Azriel might be like a fan favorite from all the people that I have seen on Tumblr and stuff. My entire body aches, a combination of falling twice, running through the woods, and being transported or teleported or whatever the fuck Azriel did to me. The energy drink and multiple cups of coffee didn't help. I rub at my forehead and my stomach growls, reminding me I haven't eaten anything all day. Thankfully, I'm hungry, though I did never make it to the grocery store. I pick through the pile of mail I tossed on the counter a few days ago and locate the Lucky's Pizzeria ad to check the coupons. Delivery it is. As I dial the number to place my order, I sift through the rest of the pile, sorting it into junk and keep. An envelope catches my eye on the bottom of the stack with the wrong name and incorrect address. Lucky's Pizzeria, we're lucky you called us. Will this be for pickup or delivery? Shit. Pardon? No, sorry, delivery. After I placed my order, I turned my attention back to the letter. It was supposed to go to the apartment above me. It's been over a week, and at this point, I might as well just cut my losses and toss the letter. But no, I should hand it over. It could be life or death information for all I know. And if I don't do it right now, I'll just forget. My day's being chaotic enough. Why not deliver a letter? Has Morgan had any water at all? No, not really. She had a little bit just now, but all day she's pretty much had coffee and a Jolt Cola. I stuff the letter in my pocket and exit my apartment, locking my door and checking it twice before heading upstairs. Okay, I'm just going to warn you all, brace yourself for this number 8 romance reveal. Despite Eli being my favorite, this is the best. This is my favorite reveal of the demo. It's literally perfect. When I find the letter's apartment, I knock and wait, but no one answers, which is odd because I can hear music playing softly inside and I see a sliver of light from under the door. My mind immediately goes to the inhabitant lying dead on their living room floor. If there's another dead body today in my own apartment building, I swear. I give a series of slightly firmer knocks and call out a tentative hello. It's then I notice a small white rectangular box affixed to the wall, looking quite a bit like a doorbell. I give it a press, but hear nothing. Odd. After another minute, I give up and bend down to attempt to shove the letter under the door, hoping I'm not leaving fingerprints behind at a crime scene because that's the last thing I need. When the door swings open and a pair of bare feet come into view. Hello? Number 8, the real number 8. Would the real number 8 please stand up? This is number 8. Yeah, my reaction too. My reaction as well. I slowly stand, which has me staring at first a pair of toned legs, then towel-clad hips, followed by abs and a broad chest. Finally, my eyes make it to the face. I told y'all to be prepared. I said brace yourselves. I warned you. I warned you. Oh no, he's hot. Bold of him to answer the door in a towel. Why can't it be both? I'm gonna go with oh no, he's hot, because he is. A tall, muscular man leans one arm against the doorframe, his other hand at his waist. His towel-clad waist. He cocks his head slightly, eyebrows raised in question, but he's smiling, and he's wet. Dripping wet. My eyes can't help but follow a bead of water as it slips from the tip of his blue-green hair, sliding down his pectoral, along the ridges of his stomach, before running down the V-shaped lines where his hips meet his pelvis. This is the first time I'm reading this. The first time I played the demo, I picked bold of him to answer the door in a towel. This is my favorite character reveal. I'm crying. It's so good. I suddenly realize he can very obviously see me and has seen me check him out. Twice. I should have tossed the letter. I glance away, trying to make it look like I heard something down the hall. Sorry, your mail ended up with mine and I've been meaning to bring it round, but I kept putting it off, then forgetting I have it. It's been a little lately. Anyway... Great, I'm delirious with hunger and embarrassment, and now I'm babbling. I don't know what you're saying. I'm winning. Yes, I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. I'm winning. A gentle touch has me turning my face back to his, then he gestures to my mouth. I need to see your lips. He extends his first 2 fingers and then does a drop followed by a single bounce with his hand as he speaks. I'm hard of hearing, so I usually read people's lips. He then holds out his hand, and I can't help but notice how big his palm is as I shake it. I'm Lear, by the way. Morgan. I'm under you. Oh my god, he's blushing. I mean, I'm beneath you. I mean, I live beneath you in an apartment. 107. Well, I can never leave my apartment again. The risk of running into him is too great. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. I shove the letter into his hands and take a step back, hoping I can learn his schedule so I can at least avoid him in the halls. That's yours. Sorry it took so long to get it to you, and sorry for bothering you during... I glance down at the towel again, then whip my eyes back up to his. God, why can't I stop? I'm blaming this on my lack of nutrition today. His large brown eyes smile at me as he takes the letter and tucks it under his arm. No worries, it was nice to meet you, and thank you for bringing my mail. Glad I could help. I start backing up down the hall, ready to eat my pizza and have this day be over with. Have a good rest of your night. I turn to leave, but he takes a step forward. Wait, let me buy you a drink. To thank you. It was nothing, really. and prolonged contact will only risk me making a further fool of myself. Also, this sounds suspiciously like a date, which is the last thing I need to be doing right now, especially with my upstairs neighbor. I'm a bartender over at the Green Knight. You can stop by when I'm working and I'll make you anything you like. It was just a letter, but he's looking at me so hopefully, and I'm surprised to learn he works at the Green Knight, though I only went there once or twice with Gideon in the past 6 months. Perhaps when I'm there, I can pick Briar's brain about fairies and pixies. Maybe they're familiar with Azrael, or this rook. If Azrael thought I'd truly stay out of this, he doesn't know me at all. I guess that decides it. I'm gonna choose this one. Do you have any virgin drink options? Because it sounds like Morgan's gonna put her foot in her mouth. But the last time I chose this one. I'm very curious. Do you have any virgin drink options? I don't need a repeat of this morning's hangover anytime soon. Maybe ever. Of course. Well, who am I to turn down a free drink? Good. This Saturday? 9 o'clock? Saturday. Sure. 9. I back up down the hall with an awkward wave and make my escape. I return to my floor, trying my best not to dwell on my very attractive and very wet upstairs neighbor or the drink he will be making me this weekend, when I notice the pizza guy waiting for me at my door. Perfect timing. Sorry, I was just upstairs. He turns around at the sound of my voice and I freeze, my mood taking a sudden nosedive. And friends, this is number 9. Takeda. I've known Kaido Takeda since we were 13. He was my rival throughout high school for every journalistic opportunity. So much so that they had to make a special exception and allow us both to be editor of the school newspaper our senior year. He blinks. Cooper. I lost track of him when he went off to college, though I'd be lying if I said I didn't read his articles when I found out he got a job at a well-respected newspaper. Before I did, which stung. Everything always seems to come easy to him, unlike for me. Last I heard, he had moved back here to take over the local paper, the Twin Coves Daily. Exactly, a rival man's enemies to lovers. Unless he's had an abrupt career change, he's not my pizza guy. Oh, why are you holding my pizza? You weren't answering your door, and the pizza guy was about to leave, so I paid him. It's my pizza now. Oh, this was very different the other way around. I chose the other option last time. Are you kidding? His serious expression breaks, then he chuckles. Chill, it's your pizza. I mean, I did pay for it, but think of it as a peace offering. I take the box from him and flip the lid open and inhale that sweet, sweet pizza scent before I place it on the counter. I don't look at Kai as I grab a slice and take a bite. It's strange to have him standing in my kitchen. So what's the peace offering for? The grocery store. I must look lost because he elaborates. He's blushing. It was months ago.
At the end of the day, you can't out Pizza the Hut, you know what I mean? So.
Fucking hell, I forgot about that. That's like my one and only sound bomb. It was months ago. You hadn't been back that long, and we bumped into each other. Literally. I try to think back to 6 months ago, but honestly, I barely remember anything from that time. I'm impressed I even left the apartment. We collided in the frozen food section. I snapped at you, then kept walking. It's fine if you don't remember. I shake my head. I was rude, and I felt guilty afterwards. I wanted to apologize. A brief memory pops into my head. Kai staring at me strangely, then storming off. Yeah, I think I remember that now, but it was a while ago. No hard feelings. Oh, I'm sure I had a lot of hard feelings at the time, however. But Kai and I aren't in school anymore, even though I still have an inexplicable urge to gloat that I scored higher on the SATs than he did. Still, I'm sorry. I was jet-lagged and surprised to see you, and he clears his throat. I'm not the most personable of people, as you know. I waved the comment away, though I do know. We went to school together for 5 years and treated each other as our personal arch nemesis. I guess that means I may not be the most personable person either. Water under the bridge. I slide the box over to him and raise a brow. Want a slice? I mean, you did pay for it. I can make a peace offering of my own. Thanks, but I'm fine. I shrug and pull it back, grabbing another slice to stuff into my mouth as I hunch over the counter. The cheese burns the roof of my mouth, but I don't care. My 8-hour-long nap really awoke my appetite. Kai takes a seat on one of the stools, arm folded in front of him, so I guess he's staying to watch me eat by myself then? I'd offer him something else, but I doubt he'd want a plateful of mustard. Then it hits me. Oh, that's right. You're allergic to cheese. I'm speaking with my mouth full, but I'm so hungry I don't care about that either. Dairy, but yes. They had to order special lunches for you at school and everything. They came with plastic wrap on them. Hey, I'm allergic to cheese. Well, I'm lactose intolerant. I can eat cheese. Why do you remember that, of all things? I take another bite and shrug. I don't know. I thought a lot about Caden back then. Mostly about how to one-up him. Did I say Caden? I think I just said Caden. Clearly, I still have Mass Effect brain rot. Kai! God damn it. Full brain rot. Kai snorts and leans forward, resting his elbows on the counter. Then his gaze catches on something, and he frowns. Shit, I should have picked up that whiskey bottle. How did you get that scar? I freeze, pizza halfway to my mouth. He nods at the 2-inch-long scar on the left side of my forehead, just close enough to my hairline that I'd hoped would make it less noticeable. Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. You just didn't have that when we were kids, and it looks recent. I swallow. That's because it is. Lie or lie? Which one did I pick last time? I think I picked the top one, so we'll pick the bottom lie. Oh, there's the scar. I didn't notice it before on the character, but it's right there, right in the corner. Car accident. Wasn't a big deal, but I did slam my head pretty hard on the door. Kai sucks in a breath through his teeth. The other lie, I think, is like hitting a doorknob or something. Damn. Ouch. Yeah. He glances down at my bandaged hands. And what happened there? What is this, 20 questions? I try to force a laugh, but Kai only looks concerned. For some reason, it annoys me. I shrug and take another bite. I fell. We both fall silent, though by the way he's studying me, I'm not sure he believes me. Except that was the truth. She fell. The first one was the lie. But he doesn't believe the truth. You know, you never told me why you came here in the first place. I doubt you knew I ordered pizza and planned to swoop in to pay for it. Kai presses his tongue to the side of his cheek and looks away uneasy. I wanted to apologize for being rude. He glances up at me, then around my apartment. It's subtle, but I see the shift in his face. When he speaks again, his voice is gentle, careful. I hate that voice. Look, I know we weren't that close in high school, but you don't seem like yourself. The Morgan I knew, she was the brightest person in the room. Kai attempts to smile, but it falls flat. She didn't hesitate before opening her front door, he means, or hardly leave her home, or pass out on the couch after downing Gideon's favorite brand of whiskey just to feel close to him and get a few hours of sleep without nightmares for once. And I'm never doing that again. You can talk to me. Are you doing okay? He hesitates, then sighs. Or maybe you should talk to a professional. I attempt to slam the pizza box closed. It barely makes a sound, which is disappointing. I'm so sick of people asking me how I am. Do you want to know a secret fact about Kai? That you can discern from reading the Tumblr, but you might have to like scroll back a bit. But I can tell you something about Kai if you are interested in hearing it. I don't need anyone's help. I just need more time. I'm fine. Doing great. He flicks his gaze down to my overflowing trash can, stuffed full of soggy takeout containers, empty energy drink cans, and used coffee filters. He says nothing, only drags a hand down his face. I'm bad at this. You are. What are you doing here, Kai? He sighs. Now it's 2 hands down his face. I don't think now's a good time. You came here, so it must be important. Okay, so the thing about Kai is that when they were in high school, he had a big old crush on Morgan. But he never acted on it. And now maybe he will. Why are you really here? I didn't want to bring this to you, at least not yet. Not until I had more. They found a dead body today. I know. What does that have to do with anything? I look surprised. How do you... Never mind. He shifts forward, his hand momentarily reaching out, but he pulls back at the last moment before continuing. The thing is, I don't believe it was the first murder to happen recently. They may both even be connected. His dark eyes meet mine. Morgan, I don't think Gideon died of a heart attack. I think he was murdered. Boom! To be continued. Oops, another cliffhanger, and the end of the Twin Coves demo. We've now met all 9 potential love interests, and I'm so curious to find out who's your favorite now. I'm Team Eli all the way, obviously, but I'll be playing the game at least 9 times to romance them all. I hope you enjoyed watching the demo as much as I enjoyed playing it. And if you'd like to play it for yourself, the link to download it is in the description below. And remember, the Kickstarter goes live this Friday, October 1st. You can find info on the rewards, tier levels, and more on the Twin Coves Tumblr. Let me know in the comments below which love interest is your favorite, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Eli and I say thanks for watching, and we hope to see you soon.